Good morning, Hanoi. Good morning, Hanoi. Good morning, Magic Forest. Welcome to the Magic Forest, Hanoi. Um, Found a lovely little place. So cute. It's kind of like a tree house, but on top of a city house. I moved my chair because I kept on banging my head. Let me just spin the thing round. It's got 360 degrees view. Hello. He's too scared to climb out the window. It's a nice place to dry in clothes because there's a nice breeze up here. And it's a bit slanted because it's actually sitting on the roof. It's rather like sitting on that roof over there, except there's a plant pot to save me from certain death. Homestay. Often when you're explaining what you're doing, people say, "What's a homestay?" If you don't know what a homestay is, you're really going to struggle to understand. It's a word. But also we've guaranteed the place on in the really cute place. It's called Ode, which means here, and that's where I want to be. I want to be Ode here. And yeah, we've just, I guess, and now we've secured it, and I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful that they trust me and Henry to come into their community, and also we negotiated on the price on the room, and I think I was good in negotiating, and so there was an element of trust. Which was not, and I think that maybe they can see my value as well, which is really touching. I wrote down the other day, your value is what you bring. I can't remember what I wrote. So later, your value is not how much you get paid, but about how much you have to offer. Yeah, that's it. I've got fairies to offer. It's nice here, and so I've got a week here, and I did say I should really try and get to know Hannah and get to know the area. But when I moved 100 kilograms of stuff up 7 floors, I was like, why do I make my life more difficult? But then when I sat up here on this roof and the sun was setting and I listened to my music, I suddenly thought, oh, it was worthwhile. It was worth the effort. I was thinking about the idea with Newton's law of potential energy. So if you carry all 100 kilograms up 7 floors, that stuff has 100 kilograms of potential energy at a height of 7 floors. So that's how much potential energy we've got. So coming down will be easier. But next time, because I moved all across the city in 2 taxis, because you can only do it in 2 trips. Or you could do it in one, but it would be much nicer to do it in 2. But next time I think I'm going to walk to the place in 4 trips. There's something about actually storing that potential energy, and when you get to a place where you're going to be for a while, it's nice to have a kind of little ordeal before you get there. So it's almost going to be like a kind of moving marathon. I guess it's about an hour's walk from here out of the city. It's a nice walk, and then I'll do 4 trips because I've got 3 big bags, each weighing 25 to 30 kilograms. And then lastly, I'll walk with Henry. I might get taxis back, but it'll be a fun little marathon. A moving house marathon. I've done moving house so many times. I've become an expert at it. But yeah, it'll be nice to be settled in a new place. I'm excited. And I'm glad I'm here as well. The guy's so sweet. His little grandma and granddad who run the guest house, and the granddad's so funny. He loves it, and he's proud of it, and that's beautiful. And he's got these little birds, and he moves them around the house in cages. You can't see them. One usually lives right there. But then he said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll turn the light out and put the bird there at when you go to bed." Right. So at midnight, he put a bird outside my window, and I said, "Does it sing in the morning?" He said, "No, it sings all the time." So they're not lying in bed, they're scratching about and chirping. But it's cute. I mean, it's better than sounds of traffic, whatever. Got my Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire tea in the morning. Coming up about 6 a.m. There was something, I think it was Bill Bryson, he says you only really need get to know a city if you wake up at sunrise and watch the city come alive. So this is quite a good spot to do that. I drink coffee, but I'm drinking Yorkshire tea. But I've got coffee, and I'll probably still be here whilst I'm drinking coffee in you rain. And we've been getting around using a compass, and it's much better because if you use the compass, you can choose which street you go down as long as you're pointing in roughly the right direction. Google Maps can't tell you which is the quietest street to walk down. So you have to, like the compass is pointing in your general direction. And then if you know you've had your fill, you can just turn it around and it's pointing back to your homestay. So it's quite a good way to get around a city. City walking. I've read like 2 books recently on meditative walking, and how to meditate whilst walking. But also meditation is partly about taking everything in and being in the moment. And so cities can be good for that, even though it's not like hiking in nature. It's just different. It's so different that you can't compare it, but they're both equally valid in their own right. Ooh, hello. Ooh. This little fairy. Could be a fairy. Fairies often inhabit insects. So when you see an insect acting a little bit obscurely, it might well be a fairy checking up on you. A fairy inhabiting an insect, it almost looks like an insect is pretending to be an insect, but it's not doing something right. But I guess that bee is actually just enjoying that flower, so it's being a pretty normal bee, so it's probably not a fairy. And fairies generally don't live in the city. That's one thing I am sure. But I'm sure they must live where we're going. Find the fairies. You never find fairies unless you're looking for fairies. And you won't find fairies in a city. But it's wonderful here. I'm happy. Also, if you're walking around with compass, you have to ask people, and you know, just being on flight mode is so nice. to survive. And that's how you learn the language, is by talking to people and not just checking the internet every time. Nap, nap, yep, nap, yep. That means the most beautiful. So, if you're asking directions, nap, yep. Boulder bowl. Boulder bowl means a leisurely walk, like a dog walk. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to. I've already found the need to learn the language, and so it's nice. And when we're at the new place, the actual boss doesn't really speak much English, so it's my responsibility to learn the language, which is what you need good motivators to learn language, especially really, really, really hard languages. But that'll be good. Anyway, you've had your 10 minutes. So I shall love you and leave you. I'm gonna sit here, read my book, have some tea all young, and then have a coffee, and then Henry and I shall search for the lake. See, there's a mini lake with some nice coffee shops, so we might go there for breakfast and then head to the big lake and do a big circuit of that. I don't know how long it takes. It must take about 2.5 hours or 3 hours, I guess. 4 hours if you stop in nice places and drink nice drinks. They have nice fruit juices and nice coffee everywhere you go. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I shall see you in the magic forest.